Hey everyone, welcome to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel. As always, you know that this is a place where we talk about some of the hottest topics in music, entertainment, and reality TV. In today's video, I wanted to do a quick recap of the Real Housewives of New Jersey last night. If you follow me on my social media, you know we were watching and commenting last night. So if you haven't followed me on my social media, everything is at TheKempire. Before we get into it, I'm going to give everyone a chance to get into the chat room because I don't want to jump in and then people say, "Oh, I missed what you were talking about." Let's give everyone a little bit of time, and we'll get right on into it. And welcome back, everyone. Shout out to everyone in the chat room. I see my girl Barry. I see my girl Danielle. Corey's there. And everyone watching. For those that aren't familiar with who I am, I'm TheKempire. I am going to give a quick recap on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I literally had to watch it twice. But before we get into Jersey, I know you guys have been following me on my social media in regards to DMX. I reported earlier this week that they were going to be running tests on him on Wednesday. The current update is that what they found in those tests are not promising. So we have no word on what will happen next, but I want to get everyone an update. We also heard that he tested positive for COVID-19, and that was part of the reason why they were limiting the amount of people that could visit him in and out of the hospital. But as I said to you before, sources are saying that there is limited brain activity going on, and he is still in the ICU on life support. Also, another story that I posted on my TikTok, Midwin Charles, I'm not sure if you're familiar with her. She's a legal commentator on CNN and MSNBC. Has passed away at the age of 47. The family released a statement, but did not confirm on how she died. I remember seeing her on Wendy Williams a couple of times, and it was as soon as I saw the name, I knew who it was. So I definitely want to send out regards to her family and friends during this very challenging time. 47 is extremely, extremely young. Okay, in lighter news, let's talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I see you guys in the chat. I appreciate everyone being here. I wanted to do a quick recap of New Jersey. Is New Jersey bringing it this season? I think so. In a pandemic, in comparison to some of their counterparts, New Jersey is entertaining. I have to say, the Jersey Shore, I mean, remember, they went from Lake George, now they're at the Jersey Shore. So they're really keeping us on these cash trips. I love it. And every time I watch some of every week, I'm like, damn, Kenya could take a note from these people. The food, the drinks, everything was flowing in this episode. But we'll get to that. Well, one of the first scenes is them going out to eat. Amazing food and them drinking. I'm happy to see the fight between Teresa and Jackie done with for now. But I have to say, when you kind of see everything happening, did anyone remember that Evan and Jackie were even there? Anyone remember? I mean, there were little parts where you saw them and you're like, they're adding nothing to this group. They're adding nothing. And I hate to say that, you know, I was Team Jackie in the beginning with the fight situation. But girl, what do you bring? And then Evan's leaving early. Got to go get back to the kids. Okay. I mean, you got to get back to the kids. So one of the things that I wanted to mention, because I took notes, as you guys already know, I always take some notes because I'll forget the smallest detail that I want to mention to you. And Teresa's voice. I've heard some people comment in my comment section on social media, say, what's going on with Teresa's voice this season? I don't know. It's very high pitched. And I'm like, Teresa, what is going on with you? I'm not sure. We still did not get a glimpse of her new boyfriend in this particular episode, but check out the video that I posted yesterday in regards to her boyfriend, Louis, and his interesting past. I posted 2 videos, so check out the description link in that video as well. There's more smoke on Louis. I'm guessing later in the season, we will get a chance to see him. Let me see what everyone's saying in the chat room. Prayers for DS, definitely prayers for DMX and his family during this time. And of course, Midwin Charles. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Midwin Charles. She is a legal commentator on CNN and MSNBC. She's also made appearances on the Wendy Williams show. Danielle says, Jersey gives us what ATL didn't. I mean, they're giving us the fun. They're giving us the food. I love it. 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 But I have to say, a lot of people in this particular episode were just, they disappeared into the background. My girl, Black Dolores, she looked great. She looked great. But that's not enough to make a show. I know she tried to step it up a little bit in this particular episode, but she wasn't there. Jackie wasn't there. Even Jennifer, who was having a little bit of a fight with Marge. Marge, too. I'm just like, It really, I mean, this episode really was centered around the Gorgas and the Judices memorializing Nona. So I get it, but Lord, now we wonder why everyone has to sort of suck up to Teresa because no one else is as interesting. I'm just saying. That's just my thoughts. Okay. So Melissa, and if you saw the thumbnail for this particular video, it is about Melissa and Joe Gorga. Is this a real or fake storyline? Let's talk about it. Shout out to Natalie. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, appreciate it. Danielle said Evan cracked a couple of jokes. He did? I watched it twice, Danielle. I don't remember the jokes. You're going to have to remind me what those jokes are. I don't know, Lord. I don't know. But anyways, back to this. So Joe and Melissa, this was the biggest issue of this particular episode. And a lot of people are debating, is this a real relationship issue? They seem to get over it pretty quickly in this episode. But honestly, I could see it being real. Do I see them maybe dramatizing it more for the show? Possibly. I mean, I've been in situations where I've seen couples argue in front of me, and that's how I felt watching it. Watching them argue, I was like, this is uncomfortable watching these two go at it and talk about their marriage troubles. And she hasn't been the same since she started Envy and her success. Someone tell me in the chat, can you all tell me something? Is Envy really doing that well? that she is not home? I know Joe didn't sign up for her working at all. He really signed up for a very traditional Italian wife and mother. But is Envy really that busy? We rarely ever see her at Envy. I don't know. I want to know. People on my TikTok are saying no. Jaxie says, I think it's real. I think Joe is old school and really does want her to be at home with the kids. I do believe that because he's mentioned that in other seasons. But it just, I don't know, like this particular episode of just sort of looking at them, I'm thinking some of it is real, but I also think some of it is for the show. Because I also kind of think, and I've heard this before, that Teresa, Joe, and Melissa sort of kind of are in cahoots to creating storylines for the show, allegedly, to keep them interesting. Because even at the restaurant where Jackie was telling Teresa about what was going on with Melissa and Joe the previous night, it just seemed like Teresa's trying to play up their marriage issues. I don't know if I believe it. I'm sure we're going to hear at the reunion. By the way, they are filming the reunion very soon. Andy already released a tweet asking for reunion questions. My reunion question, they would never post because I was like, is it real or is it fake? Because I didn't believe one word of their relationship issues. Jackson Girl says she got more money and some fame and she's liking it. See, and that's the side of things that I can see where there might be real issues between Joe Gorga and Melissa. But I feel like this life has upgraded them both in regards to him and to her. But I can see where it might have gone to her head and that could have affected the relationship. I know it affected her relationship with Teresa because Teresa did not want her on the show. Cynthia says, I live in Jersey. It's not all that. That's what I was thinking, Cynthia. That's what I was thinking. Because I was like, and he's saying this happened in the last year. And mind you, she's had Envy for probably at least 3 seasons right now. And she's talking about going to Fashion Week and red carpets and appearances. In the last year? Okay. Look, all right. One of the things I noticed that Dolores said when she was talking to Teresa about dating and getting out there dating, Teresa in this episode, she's talking about she wants someone to suck on her lemons. All right, Teresa, we get it. You're trying to get a boyfriend. All right. But it's interesting, and this segues back to the video that I did on Teresa's new boyfriend, Louis. Dolores warns her to pay attention for the red flags. And I'm like, there's a lot of red flags going on with Louis, allegedly. And I wonder if she's paying attention. I feel like even if there was a red flag and you were waving it in Teresa's face, she wouldn't know. She wouldn't know. Daniel says, that's a real relationship issue. I'm a witness. Wait, I believe Joe doesn't like the fact that Melissa doesn't have the time for him that she used to have. Look, this is also in the middle of a pandemic. So I know she's also not working like that or making appearances like that. That's also why I'm sort of like, how real is this story? Because you're also in the middle of a pandemic. So now you're home more than you were before. So how real is the story? How busy is Melissa really? Because she was in New Jersey and we were all on lockdown in the tri-state area. So I kind of find it interesting that this is the issue. And he said specifically, oh, it's happened in the last year. But also in the last year, we've had a pandemic and you've been home most of the time. Even during this filming, this is in the middle of the pandemic. So technically all of you are home. And then you notice in this particular episode, they get over it very quickly. They mention that they had sex in the bathroom. Not sure why they're very TMI. We're seeing your relationship arguments. We're hearing about you having sex. I'm like, this is a bit much for me. I don't know if you do that with your friends, but I don't. Let me see what Dumont says. Dumont says, Joe is past that homemaker stuff. It's been several years now. He's used to their new life. That was so fake. It's being played up as if it's this real issue when it's not. We have to remember when the producers go to these couples, they ask, what's going on in your life? That's when they're going to make a decision if they're going to bring you back or if they're going to bring you just as a friend of. So you have to go in front of the producers and sell your story to them. Matter of fact, let me put up Joe, because I love my Joe. Joe, the husbands on the Real Housewives of New Jersey are necessary. I'm not going to sit here and act like they are not necessary. And even when Joe was acting up, I'm sure a lot of us felt for Joe, but at the same time, we're like, Joe, is this real? Because there's even a point when Joe sort of smirks in the kitchen, and I'm like, the same smirk that he gave the guy that was accusing him of owing tens of thousands of dollars. I'm like, I can see your tell, Joe. I know when you're lying. And I think you're lying right now. But has Jersey been entertaining, even with the fake storylines? I have to say, yeah, because just seeing these real relationships, these real friendships, and them just having fun, seeing the guys have fun together, because you can tell that's real. You can tell that they really enjoy each other. And the Jersey Shore, I need to get to the Jersey Shore. They have boats. It looks beautiful. It's summer. It kind of reminds us that summer is right around the corner, and maybe we will be able to have actually a summer this year. Even though, mind you, this was last summer and they're actually having a summer in the middle of a pandemic. But look, it is what it is. Daniel says, Joe is a cutie patootie. Shout out to Krista Beaumont. What's going on? Okay, Daniel says, so where she might have been home with the kids. Oh, wait, where she might have been home, those kids were home too. Yeah, but those kids are old enough. They're not up under their parents like that. They're in their games. The 15-year-old is doing her own thing. They're not hanging out. It's not like these little babies. Even the littlest one's like, eh. I'm just saying. That's just how I feel personally. So on one side, I kind of feel like the storyline could be real and why producers might like it. But remember, we've heard rumors online that producers are saying that the storylines that we've gotten over the years about Melissa and Joe Gorga are not the real story, allegedly. That's what we've heard. But can we backtrack a little bit to the fight between Marge and Jennifer? Because I believe that's a real argument. I really do believe that these two women do not like each other. because it's spilled out onto social media of them going back and forth. And I honestly think that they both have points. I think, and I like that Jackie defended Jennifer, even though she doesn't like Jennifer generally. But I like the fact that she defended Jennifer regardless, because she realizes being a stay-at-home mom is work. And I keep forgetting, because when you're seeing the kids run around Jennifer's home, you lose count. I forget that she has 5 kids. That's a lot. And it didn't look like she has a lot of help either. And her father's with her, and her father looks elderly. So that is a lot. And if she's maintaining that house and the family and food and things like that, okay, that is work. And that's 24/7 work. So I get where Jennifer's coming from, and what Marge said to her was insensitive. But sidebar, why does Dr. Bill keep putting on Jennifer's shoes? When he did it once, I could understand. But every time she's putting on shoes, he puts it on. Can someone explain to me what that's about? Does she have long nails that I don't know about or see? I don't understand. Robin says they got some nice houses. Both houses, but I have to say I love Joe and Melissa's Jersey Shore house more. But this is an upgrade for them. And the Catanias, they've had that house for many, many years. Dumont says Jennifer kids are horrible. She's got like 3 or 4 nannies, right? So how much work is she doing? I don't know if she has 3 or 4 nannies, at least not during the pandemic. I don't think she has those nannies. I mean, at least the times that we've seen them filming, we haven't seen the nannies. So, and even if you have nannies, you still have to raise your kids. I think she is still involved. I don't think Jennifer is just hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen that side of her life before. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to downplay her stay-at-home mom status. Just saying. But then on the other end, I didn't appreciate what Jennifer said to Marge in regards to her having sex with her boss back in the day, because the way she set it up, and maybe that went over Jennifer's head, it wasn't that she wanted to have sex with her boss. It was a power play on the boss's end. This was a guy in a power position, and we're seeing more of that. And she said, it wasn't a Me Too situation because I wasn't raped, because I did consent, but it was also a power move. This person was in a position of power, and they took advantage of me. And somehow that missed Jen, but she's retaliating against Marge, and that's the first thing that came to mind. So I do see both sides of it. Whose side am I mostly on? Probably Marge, because I like Marge more. But what are you gonna do? I have to say this particular episode, though, everyone paled in comparison to the Gorgas and the Judices, of course. Let me see what you guys are saying. Beaumont says, I'm so glad Danielle Staub is gonna. She made my skin crawl. I'm sure you meant gone. She's not really gone, because I hear Danielle Staub is on social media doing her own recaps of New Jersey, and I heard it is a hot mess. Beverly, ooh, don't call her Beverly. She's very upset by that. But that's your name. Look, but that's your name. Gwendolyn says it's called love, putting on her shoes. Okay. I do find it interesting, though. I'm just like, you can't put on your own shoes? I'm sure they'll probably maybe mention it. Maybe someone will tweet Andy and ask this during the reunion. Why can't Jennifer put on her own shoes? Every single time we see her putting on the shoes. So the other conversation that Jen and Marge have, she says this to Marge, you're no stranger to meanness, because she's recalling back to how Marge spoke to her husband, Joe. And I have to say, watching Marge speak to Joe the way that she did was uncomfortable to watch. I wouldn't want to talk to my partner that way. Do I think they lack love in their relationship? No, but it was uncomfortable seeing her speak that way to Joe. Like, take it back. Just let them know you didn't say that. Oh, okay. And I have to say, in comparison to relationships, I have to say I love Jen and Bill's relationship more than I like Marge and Joe's relationship. Even Joe Gorga is like, she wears the pants, you wear the G-string. It's the guys for me in this episode. Again, the guys saved New Jersey. Just saying. Let me just see. What else did I write in my notes? Okay, let's get back to this fight between, because this was the biggest episode. This was the biggest issue in this episode, was them going back and forth about after they left this restaurant. Melissa leaves Joe. He gets upset about it. They were drinking. So I think a little bit of their fight, because if you look at their faces, Joe looks very red. So he looked like he's, you remember he has a couple of shots. They were drinking. You know how Melissa gets when she's drinking too. So I think that that little tiff that they had, be it real or fake, I think on the real side of things, I think they might have been a little tipsy, and that's why it escalated the way it did. But look, I could be wrong. I have to say, in my notes, I asked a lot of questions to myself, hoping that you guys will answer it. One of the questions was, were they drunk? Because I think they were drunk. As someone that doesn't drink, they look like they were drunk to me. And then I also asked, is Envy really a success? And a lot of you said, no, it's not that much of a success, especially in this pandemic. I wonder how the business is doing. And I've heard rumors of alleged things, fake things that she was selling at Envy, allegedly. Let me see. Oh, so so the fight between Melissa and Joe. Apparently they get over it, I guess, because they end up having sex in the bathroom. He tells it to them. The other thing that we find out about Joe and Melissa's relationship is, wait, where was it? Oh, they have an au pair. Melissa and Joe, I thought that was so strange when the au pair showed up with the kids. I was like, and then people were in the comments when we were watching it live on TikTok, they were saying, I think they just have a babysitter. They just want to try and be fancy. I mean, the au pair didn't really speak, so I couldn't tell. I'm sort of like, at this point, like, how young are her kids? I remember being that age and staying home alone. But I guess, well, they're gone away for a couple of days, so I guess. But au pair doesn't just leave, though. The au pair's with you all the time. So they have an au pair in the middle of a pandemic? D-Lin says it's the same thing. Not really. When you look at the official definition of what an au pair is, it's sort of similar, but it's an extra level of care, an au pair. But okay. One thing I did write about Evan, because Evan did have, Jackie's husband had one particular moment during this episode, and he said he lived in Argentina and that he dated multiple foreign women. Then I had the thought, if he's dated multiple foreign women, he's definitely gotten, a professional before, and he's just let that go for the rest of his life. I mean, their relationship is still together. They have 4 kids, but you just sort of let that go. I don't know. When he said that, that's what sprang in my mind. I was like, you dated multiple foreign women. I know those foreign women turned you out, and now you're with Jackie. I like Jackie, but just saying, this is what they've shared on the show about their sex life. I'm just reiterating what they said, and makes me shocked. Let's get to the prank. So you might recall, if you rewind back to the Lake George episode, Teresa calls her brother and says that, Melissa was talking to the bartender at the club last night, trying to play a prank on Joe. And this was the first time that we looked at Teresa and like, wow, you really do know how to lie. Because even though the lie she told about, or alleged lie that she told about Jackie, we didn't believe. But when she called her brother, we really believed it. Fast forward to this particular episode, and I had to say, for a second there, I was like, wait, are they trying to do a whole Joe Giudice throwback with him stepping away and with his phone multiple times, and then a woman called the realtor Giselle kept on calling, and then we found out it was a joke. It was just Frank Catania calling. This show, look, I know it's very produced, but I have to say, they're still entertaining to watch, even with these stupid jokes that they're playing on each other. What did you guys think about the jokes? Let me know in the comment section, or of course in the chat room. And also, if you're watching this, be sure to like this video. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Let me just put the little reminders up here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Barry says, a professional. I thought the same thing. Jackie isn't dropping it low and spreading it wide. I'm back. What jokes? Really, Danielle? The prank that Joe played on Melissa, she said for a second that she believed it, but then she was like, no. I don't like to play those sort of reindeer games with my relationship. Honestly, I wouldn't be playing that. I call it no sense of humor. I wouldn't be playing those jokes. That wouldn't be me. Okay, let's get to what I was crying. Even watching it the second time, I was crying watching this. They did a special memorial for Nona, Teresa and Joe's father, who passed away. I think it was before the pandemic. So they decided to do a memorial. And I have to say, before we get to the actual memorial, another Kenya Moore, are you watching? I need you to learn how to host. These Italians. Did you see the charcuterie board? Oh, the fruit, the pictures. Everyone was in white. Everyone looked great. My girl Black Dolores looked fantastic. I don't know. I felt like it was such a really, really good memorial. And then, of course, our girl Gia had us all crying as she remembered her Nona. And then they did a flashback. And if you've been watching The Real Housewives of New Jersey for as long as I have, since the beginning, then you sort of remember the family, the fights, the tears, the fun, and you remember Nona because Nona moved in with Teresa, for the last few years of his life since his wife passed away. So it was a really beautiful, beautiful moment and remembrance. And I thought it was nice for the show to remember him because he was a part of the show. And this memorial was a really good idea. And I thought it was really beautiful. But again, I was more distracted by the food. But also swans. I didn't know swans were in the Jersey Shore. If you're from the Jersey Shore, if you've been to the Jersey Shore, is that normal? Or was that really Nona and Nona coming to visit? Because I was like, I didn't know swans were in the Jersey Shore. But look, I've never been to the Jersey Shore, so might be. Daniel says Italians are like Southern blacks. Daniel also says Kenya is not a Southerner, so she doesn't know hospitality. Either way, I mean, you can learn hospitality. Martha Stewart's been doing what she's been doing for how many decades? I think I'd be a fantastic host, and I'm not from the South. I'm just saying. But anyways, so this memorial was really beautiful. Gia's speech was really beautiful. Joe and Teresa's speech was really beautiful. And one of the things that Joe said that his father said to him before he passed was to take care of your sister. And I think that is the most important thing. And one of the most heartbreaking things throughout the seasons was the downfall of their relationship. So it's nice to see them back together, especially now more than ever, because I need Joe Gorga to have his eye on Louis, her new boyfriend. And I hope Louis knows that we all are watching him. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let me post the link if you guys want to call in before we're done for this quick recap, because I do want to hear what you guys think or thought of the Real Housewives of New Jersey last night. But like I said, the memorial. Do we know were they just throwing paper into the water? I wasn't sure what they were doing, because then I was just thinking, I don't know how environmentally friendly that is, but it is paper, so it will dissolve. Maybe it was something that dissolved. I don't know. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so what else did I want to say about this episode? I don't know. What do you guys think of New Jersey? Is New Jersey really bringing it this season? And of course, Danielle, what are your thoughts on New Jersey this season?
I'm loving New Jersey. It's like I said earlier, it's totally making up for what Atlanta didn't give us.
So you weren't impressed with Atlanta at all this year?
No, because it's still Kenya trying to bash Portia about Bolo. Like, get over it.
I think we're gonna move on from that in the next episode. But let's not forget, if we didn't have the Bolo episode, what would we have this season?
Kenya complaining about something else.
Damn.
So no, but I think but wait, I kind of felt like, and maybe because I missed it, I felt like last night's episode of Jersey was like the end of the season. Is there more to come?
You're right, because as I said before earlier, for those that are just tuning in, they're going to film the reunion in probably the next week or two. So it's definitely winding down. Maybe it's a shorter season, but I definitely think we have a couple of more episodes. But we've seen a lot of what we already saw in the preview for this season.
Yeah, I just feel like that scene with them honoring Nona was just like very ending of the season.
That's a good point, but I think there's more. No, there's more, because remember we saw a couple of weeks ago the preview about we're going to see Louis,
the boyfriend, right? We haven't met him yet, but does any drama come with that? Like, I need Teresa to tell somebody to pull Marge's hair again or something. I need some more drama.
You know what? Let's not encourage the violence.
Oh goodness. Listen, okay, so yes, I'm going to encourage that we keep our hands to ourselves. I just need a little bit more stuff. And I think the joke or the fake joke about what was it, realtor Giselle, that was so whack.
I know, but I kind of, maybe because it's Joe, so I kind of looked past it, and I was like, okay, that was funny. Because for a minute there, I was like, wait a second, what's happening here?
I didn't think it was fake until I saw Black Doris.
Black Teresa now.
I know, I'm sorry. Black Doris's ex-husband. What's his name?
Oh, Frank.
Until I saw Frank texting, I was like, oh, they're playing a game. I don't have time for it.
She said, I don't have time for it. Dumont says, trust and believe Teresa will fall out with Joe over Lewis too. She's a trash bag. Damn.
Wow.
You have to call her a trash bag.
Okay, Dumont.
Oh, Elena says Teresa's boyfriend comes on, and we weren't expecting to see Teresa's boyfriend this season.
No.
Danielle, I don't know if you saw my video on Teresa's boyfriend and the simple assault charge from 2018. I've already posted a link in the description, y'all. Check out that video for the full details. How do you feel about the boyfriend? Are you excited to see him on the show?
First of all, let me back up and commend you, because I had no clue. And when your video gave me the new news on it, or the new tea, because I had no clue. So I commend you for giving us that tea, because I just thought this was some wankster, I guess, for whack guy that Teresa was going to start dating. But now I feel like, and that's what I'm thinking, like, I want to see more. I want to see something happen with him.
Mind you, I've been sitting on that tea for a while.
Don't sit on the tea. We want to sip it while it's hot.
Well, you know what it is? The reason why I didn't report on it originally was because I was like, this doesn't, I mean, to me, it wasn't a lot of smoke to be like, oh, he's a terrible person because he had a road rage incident and was, charged for it and paid a fine for it.
Yes.
But at the same time, I was like, okay, Page 6 is reporting on it. All right. And he's going to be on the show. So I said, okay, let me report, because look, people have been slipping in my DMs with, I mean, there's more. I have pictures too about.
Now, let's not give him too much credit. Page 6 is only reporting on it because he's dating Teresa.
Exactly. This is
true.
true.
Let's not give him too much credit. To your point, like in your post, you're a New Yorker, so you're so used to road rage, and that's why it's just so common up there. Like, I mean, those are facts. You said that in your post.
Yes.
Like, you're used to it. That's just what you guys do. You yell and cuss each other out the window. They're crazy, and they have rage. So
and sometimes it gets violent.
Yeah, that's not a big deal up there. But and so he only made Page 6 because he's dating Teresa. But I want to see where this goes. I think Teresa has a poor choice in men.
Mm.
And I guess she needed something to keep her on the show, because honestly, she's boring.
I have to say, besides, of course, the memorial of this episode, the only thing that we love is the guys. The guys really bring a lot to the show.
The guys are awesome. I love when the husbands get together. Can we back up and talk about Joe's man cave downstairs in the basement? How gorgeous that was when he had the guys over. And
yeah, that house is beautiful.
The house is laid.
Oh my God, I love it.
We need to bring back MTV Cribs just to get a tour of that house.
Didn't I hear that they were considering doing that?
I don't know, but they need to be the first house on there if they do.
I mean, they're also supposed to be buying a new house, because they sold the other house that they had in New Jersey. But the Shore house, I'm like, oh.
Do you remember last season when everyone went down to the Shore and Jen was like, you have a house down here? Well, how much, when she was in everyone's pocket? I'm sure that Jen is spitting nails, because they have their regular home, then they have their vacation home, and at their vacation home they have these boats, and here she is with her 40 acres and a mule, and she has none of this.
Not 40 acres and a mule.
I'm sure she is, I can't say the cuss word, but bricks.
Oh.
That she does not have that, because she's one of those girls like off of Willy Wonka, Daddy, I want it. So if she sees it, she wants it, and she's going to make Aiden go work hard to get it for her.
I'm shocked that they don't have one now, because this is what, her 3rd or 4th season? I mean, I'm shocked.
She's probably overbooking him with plastic surgeries if she can, to make sure that he can afford to get it for her.
I mean, their house is nothing to sleep on, though. Their house is definitely
huge. Their house is huge. And I remember when Jackie wrote her blog and made the comments about it.
Mm-hmm.
Her house is huge, but I know that she's looking at these other ladies like they're so minimal to her that she needs a vacation home and they need boats.
Veronica says Jen is still looking for a Jersey Shore home.
Wow.
It was really pretty, though. I mean, like I said, I've never been to the Jersey Shore, but seeing it from the Melissa Gorga and Joe Gorga home, I was like, oh, this is very beautiful.
Isn't that Melissa and Joe's second home? Didn't they say they bought one when they got married or something?
Yes.
So then it got Jim better.
And I think we've seen that. We've seen that old home on the show, and it wasn't that impressive. Nope. And I said, did they renovate this home? Because this looks very different. No, this is a new home.
I thought it was renovated too until she said that. I was like, wow. Because I do remember their other house was, I guess, for a beginner home, it was nice. But now they left their game up, honey.
I mean, it's a second home. I mean, I guess it's common in New Jersey to have a Jersey Shore home. But to me, it's sort of like, I have already a house in New Jersey. Why am I getting another house in New Jersey? But I guess, beach house. But okay.
It's like having a house in the Hamptons.
Oh, that's true. Right. I don't know about that life, Danielle. What were some of your other takeaways from this latest episode? For those that are just joining us, I'm here with Danielle. We're talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey's last night's episode, and we're just giving our feedback on what we thought. What were your other takeaways?
I need you to watch it one more time so you can catch Evan's little jokes.
A third time?
Yes, because they were so minor that you missed them.
I don't think it's worth me watching that thing again to watch Evan's little jokes, because obviously those jokes went over my head.
I want Dolores to bring more to the show too.
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of looking at Dolores and I was like, damn, Dolores, I love you, but you're not bringing anything.
Black Dolores is not giving us what she's supposed to give.
Do you think the fight between Melissa and Joe was real?
I do, and I know you kept snapping back at me in the comments. I only agree with it because I live it.
Excuse me, explain.
I live where my man feels like I don't make enough time for him. Even during the pandemic, yes, we're home. He still worked, but I still had my work. I have the kids. She has her work. I have to cook. I have to clean. It's just, people think that being home was so easy, and it is easier because you don't have the traffic, you don't have the hustle and bustle and going and everything, but it's still just as much work.
If not more.
If not more, because now you got to clean up more. Now you're buying more groceries because you're home more. Everybody's snacking more. It's still more.
Everybody's snacking. I can't tell you the amount of dishes I've washed.
Oh my goodness, yes, I'm running the dishwasher like 2 times a day as opposed to once every other day. It's totally different now. So I agree with you where they did it for a storyline, but I think it's probably their reality, and that's why, you know what, we can go off of this. Yeah. We had that argument last week. We'll just play off of that. I get that it seemed kind of fake, but I still believe that it's true, their true story.
What do you think about the fight between Marge and Jennifer?
Oh my goodness. If Jim does not leave my Marge alone. And I get it. So Jim's like, but she's put in her book. So it's different. I get it. But that moment when Marge shared about her moment with her old supervisor in the 80s, and I felt like that was a girl time moment, and that wasn't something that you take out of our space and go.
Melissa was saying something very similar as well.
Yeah, and it's just like, and she tried to use it as a low blow, and her rebuttal is, oh, but she put it in her book. We're going to read about it anyway. But Marge came back with, oh, you can't read, so I'll put it in auto. Child, yes. I want.
But going back to what you were just saying about being, working from home and things like that. What about Marge coming at Jennifer for being a stay-at-home mom?
I don't think
Danielle, we lost you. I don't hear anything.
I'm sorry. I don't think she does that much.
Really? Why do you say that?
Oh, I lost you.
Oh, you don't hear me? You don't hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Okay, I'm
Why can't you
leaving.
hear me? You know what, StreamYard, I'm gonna need them to get it together. Well, while Danielle gets that together, so I will post the link again if you guys want to call in and share your thoughts on the latest episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. We're just doing a quick recap of last night's recap. And this is just a reminder, a new episode of my podcast, KEMPIRE Radio, will be coming out tomorrow. Hot topics, music, entertainment, all of that great stuff, all the things that you love here on the channel. Also, I did a really fun thing with Fem Tarot here on YouTube where we talk about Jen Shah, and she's pulling the cards on Jen Shah and Coach Shah. I can't tell you the things that happened during that reading. I was shocked of what we're all going to have to go back and reference everything that she is predicting for the future for Jen Shah, for Coach Shah. Do you guys want to know if Coach Shah really has a side family or a side boo? Is he having financial issues? Is he addicted to something? Fem Tarot on YouTube. Check out her latest video. I was a part of it just to add my commentary and to ask some questions of the tarot cards. Be sure to check it out. If you follow me on my Twitter, I've already posted on my Twitter. I've also posted a link on my IG as well. I'll be posting snippets on my TikTok as well. So shout out to my TikTok fam. I see you guys. For my TikTok fam, we're on KEMPIRE Daily on YouTube and TheKempire on Facebook, and KEMPIRE Daily on Facebook as well. Shout out to the chat room. Veronica says definitely going to check it out. That was great. You and Femtech. Oh, Marie, you saw it. That's awesome. You know what I think it is. I think just backtracking to the thing that I did with Fem Tarot in regards to Jen Shah. If you've been under a rock in regards to Jen Shah, check out my previous videos on Jen Shah, but check out that Fem Tarot video because there are some really interesting things that came up in the cards. So be sure to check that out. But back to this whole, I'm going to wrap this up. New Jersey's still bringing it. I want to know in the chat room, what do you guys think of the latest episode of New Jersey? What do you think of the season of New Jersey? Is it a good season? Yes or no? Just give me yes or no in the chat room. Do you think this latest season, TikTok as well, are you guys enjoying the latest season of New Jersey? I am. I think despite being a pandemic and despite fake storylines, it's been entertaining. I've enjoyed it enough. I have to say. I don't know. Kayla says yes. I know there's a little bit of a delay. Just the mom says yes on my TikTok. Tara says yes on YouTube. I appreciate everyone's feedback. So I'm not the only one. Dumont says great season so far. And Dumont's not, look, Dumont, you're a harsh critic. I know. I've seen your comments and I appreciate them. So then I'm not alone. Everyone thinks so far that the latest season of New Jersey is very, very interesting. And is it their best season? No, it's not their best season. But let me tell you one season that I am looking forward to, The Real Housewives of New York. If you don't follow me, be sure to follow me because I'm going to be reporting on everything when it comes to The Real Housewives of New York. Sidebar, Luann's boyfriend from New York, during the season that we get to see, they're no longer together. Just in case you didn't know, just remember where you heard it. They've already broken up because there were rumors that he was seen with another woman, but no, she's confirmed they're no longer together. Yeah, no word on if Tinsley will be a part of the next season. She definitely was not a part of this new season, but I'm excited about New York. I'm excited about what's left of New Jersey. I think we have a few more episodes. They're going to be filming the reunion very, very, very soon. Shout out to Danielle. Thank you so much for dropping by and sharing your thoughts. I wanted to keep this short. So let me know if you're watching this afterwards. Don't forget, and for those that are watching it now, don't forget to like this video. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out when we go live or when we upload. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to everyone in the chat room. Shout out to Danielle. Shout out to Dumont. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Tara. Shout out to Maria, Veronica, Beaumont, I know was here. Barry was here. I see you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, have a wonderful Thursday. And don't forget, a new episode of my podcast, KEMPIRE Radio, comes out tomorrow. So if you want some uncensored KEMPIRE, be sure to subscribe. We're available on Google, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and the Amazon Music app. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I will see you very soon.